When you're raising children, you always question if you're doing it the right way. The goal is to ensure that the little people become quality individuals. Tracy, one of our producers and I, we were talking about this yesterday. She says, if they just don't grow up to be jerks, if they grow up to be kind people, you feel like you've done okay. But now, you remember the movie Step Brothers? These buffoons. Remember this job interview scene? You don't want your kids like this.
We want to tell you the stuff we're not good at.
Our weaknesses.
So we're clear up front.
Okay. We're not generally comfortable in an office setting, I would say.
I get cooped up.
I won't go into an office that's ever been used before.
I am no good before 11 a.m.
I also get headaches from computers, so I can't be around them for too long.
I take stuff.
I need to have someone go up and down with me in the elevator.
I have a weakness for sweets.
Other weaknesses? We're slow learners, and we're not particularly good listeners. That'll be a huge problem.
Okay, we don't want our children to turn out like these guys at all.
No. Stephen, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So how do you start your kids so early? And I think that you just have a great method for how our kids can become responsible. How young can we start getting our kids into the path of becoming like responsible adults eventually?
Well, first is a disclaimer. I don't go through people's phones, so I want to throw that out there. Second of all, as early as they begin to talk, I mean, one of the first things that I talk about, or that I've always done with my kids, was as soon as they were early enough to communicate, you know, I started trying to get 5 words out of them instead of 1. I mean, one of the things that we do as parents a lot is we say yes or no, or we ask them questions, they say yes or no. I tried to get them into a dialogue, you know, as soon as they could talk. If they would say, hey, can I have candy? I would ask them why. And I would actually allow them or encourage them to pitch me on why they should get the candy. Somewhat of a negotiation, but really what I'm doing is creating dialogue with full sentences and rational explanations as to why they should get what they want or why they need me to do what I need to do.
You're big into communicating and getting them involved. And I love how you say, there are no one-word answers. You got to lose at least 5 words if you're going to answer me?
Yes, roger that.
Yeah. And explain what BOSS is, B-O-S-S. That's kind of your method, your formula. What does the B stand for?
The B stands for be vocal, meaning on their part, not ours as a parent, but on their part, getting them to be vocal, to verbally express what it is they want, how they feel, to have a dialogue, to actually communicate, you know, as I said before, as opposed to just yes, no, maybe. I mean, something funny, and I know that 2 of you have kids. You ask your kids, hey, you guys want to get something to eat, where you want to go? You'll hear yes, no, or I don't know, or I don't care. I try to encourage my kids at a young age to explain to me not only where they want to go eat, but what they want to eat and why they want to go there. I try to get at least 5 words, you know, per sentence from them.
That's interesting. Well, you are invested as a father. This is not easy.
Well, one day I'm going to be old and I'm going to need somebody to take care of me. So
well, there you go.
To be able to explain to the doctors.
And so much so, I know that some parents, when it comes to their problems or things they're dealing with, they like to shield that from their kids. Yeah. You mentioned that when it comes to stuff, you're dealing with something in business, you're like, no, I want you guys to come in and listen to this and help me find a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when they were as early as 5, 6 years old, I'd let them sit in on a conference call if they weren't in school, and then I'd ask them questions about the conference call. I'll call them to my office on a routine basis and say, hey, I have a problem. You know, I have to cut back on some expenses, or I'm thinking about letting a division go. Let me give you the pros and cons, you know, and then ask them, you know, what their opinion is, which way they think I should go, you know. And something funny about that is here recently, you know, one of my kids gave me a response, and I said, man, how do you know that? And they said, Dad, you told me that when I was like 10 years old.
Isn't that something? You must have felt so great. They're so involved in every conversation. I'm sorry, I got away from the boss idea. You gave me the B. Did you give me the O?
No, the O is outcomes. Everything in life that we do as adults is outcome based. You know, one of the problems with allowances is we reward our kids for the bare minimum. So, okay, you get $5 a week and here are your chores. You do your chores, you get your $5, but there's no real incentive to step outside your comfort zone and to do additional things. So, you know, I was always a traditional fan of a $3 a week base when my kids were really young, and then allowed them to earn up to $10 for leadership traits such as teamwork, helping their sibling complete a task.
I want to get to the two other S's real quickly here. Give me the other S's.
Yeah, the other S is supervisory. Put them in supervisory positions. A quick 2-second example of that, me and Mom would be the labor. You know, Brianna would be in charge of preparing dinner. Bailey would be in charge of the cleanup. Me and Mom are doing the work. They're creating the checklist.
And then switch up. Yeah, and then switch up. And then with your last S?
Is show them the value of money. When my kids reached high school age, I would give them a $2,000 a month allowance. It's a salary, but they had to pay 25% of all their living expenses. So we create a budget with everything from car insurance to transportation to utilities, rent, groceries. They bought all their own clothes. Now, before people freak out, because my mom has a problem with this one, like, you're giving kids $2,000 a month? No, I mean, the money's not really real. They're using an accounting program to simulate a bank account. They're actually ending up with about $100. You know, when it's all said and done, if they manage the money right.
I know, really empowering. Thank you so much for your time. We have your book up there on the screen because you wrote the book on it, how to get our kids to be more responsible, and I love your ideas. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it.